They left me on the highway in labor. So I left them in ruin. On the day my life was supposed to begin again, my parents tried to erase me. It was my sister's wedding. A lavish, over-the-top affair with horse-drawn carriages, string quartets, and a custom-made Swarovski gown. And me? I was 9 months pregnant, breathing through contractions in the back seat of their Mercedes, when my mother turned around and snapped, "You're not ruining this day. Not again." Before I could process what she meant, the car swerved. My father slowed just enough to shove the door open. And then, they pushed me out. Yes, while in labor, on the side of a Colorado highway. I hit the gravel screaming, not from pain, but from betrayal. No hospital, no midwife, no family. Just me, blood, dirt, and a kind stranger named Melissa who stopped her truck and dialed 911 with shaking hands. But here's the thing about hitting rock bottom. It gives you perfect ground to push off from. I gave birth in the ambulance. Alone, but stronger than I'd ever known. I named my daughter Phoenix because we would rise. And rise we did. While they popped champagne at the wedding, I was in a sterile hospital room plotting the kind of revenge that would make history. Over the next 7 years, I turned my pain into power. I launched Phoenix PR, a crisis management firm that made headlines for flipping celebrity scandals into redemption stories. The business soared, and ironically, guess who came begging for help when a little family scandal leaked? Oh yes, turns out, my darling sister's husband had a not-so-secret second family. In Brazil. And my parents? They'd sunk everything into covering it up to protect the perfect image. Even mortgaged their house. Guess who they called? Guess who walked into that boardroom in heels sharper than their betrayal? Me. They didn't recognize me at first. I wore success like armor. And when they finally did, my mother gasped, "Emily." I smiled sweetly. "Oh, so now I'm invited?" I laid out my terms. 1. They would publicly apologize for what happened on the highway. 2. My daughter would never again be called a mistake. And lastly, the Phoenix Foundation, a charity supporting abandoned pregnant women, would receive full funding from their family trust. Or, I'd leak everything. Every lie. Every fake charity donation. Every silent staffer. Every unpaid vendor. They signed. And I walked out, hand in hand with my daughter, the same way I walked into my future. They left me in labor on the cold side of a highway. So I left them, in the dust of their own disgrace. Pain made me a mother. Betrayal made me a boss. Want more stories where karma wears heels and carries receipts? Subscribe to Cold Revenge, where revenge is served piping hot, with a side of poetic justice. Because some stories aren't just stories. They're warnings.